And good morning. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Brian Addo, Samantha Perry with you on an absolutely picture-perfect day here in Hollandale Beach. The fast main track, that turf will be back in play next Friday, as this is the second of the two-week hiatus. As boy, has it held up very, very nicely. And of course, the Tapeta as well. And this is about the nicest day of the year, and we've got a lot to look forward to on a 4-day racing week, because even though we did pay the Rainbow Six on Saturday, we've got another mandatory end of Florida fiscal year Sunday. Everything must go.
Yep, it will, and it'll be exciting. It grew huge already.
Really did, yeah.
So on that last Sunday, but look at this mandatory payout on all carryover pools.
Yeah, I think they put, I believe it was 80,000 or so on Sunday.
Yeah,
So it goes so
bit.
quickly. It's a $75,000 estimated jackpot today, and again, Sunday is a little bit off. We have drawn that card so for the mandatory day on Sunday, but we do have 3 more racing days to get there, and if it does go unhit, we'll have another, potentially 7-figure pool. So looking forward to that. We'll be filming videos and analysis and all that kind of good stuff like we did last week to try to guide you in the right direction. We'll try to guide you in the right direction to the early pick 5 today on an 8-race card. We're kind of back to normal here after we had a pretty full racing week last week, but the unfortunate cancellation. So we'll have 8 of them for you today. We'll take a look at my early pick 5. Horizontals galore in the first 5 races on the card. $30 early pick 5 for me. Very few scratches or changes on the card. I lost nothing of any significance. That's great to see. First race we'll get to in a second. You can see my deep spread is in race 2 on this card. I go to the 7, tap my bell on top. Back-to-back singles. In race 3, it is the 7, Queen Daymar. In race 4, that is my actual best bet today, and that is the 5, Tis a Tale. And then 4 deep in race 5, and that is the 8 on top of that one, and that is Hilarious Affair. And we'll have a video to show you there as well. So a $30 early pick 5 ticket, and we'll get into the opener now. We'll go 7 furlongs on a fast main track. These are 12-5 maiden claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. Again, fast main track, Tapeta in play today. You'll go with the 6. I want to scratch the 4, follow the Fed, scratch the 5, Castle Born. I believe that's 40% of the scratches today. You'll go to the outside of those vacated stalls, and that is to the 6, Lace Curtain, back on the main track for Steve K.
Yeah, I like this move here, especially just the last couple times that this filly had run on the dirt, it was against the higher maiden claiming level ranks, and I feel like she just fits here a bit better now.
No, I agree totally. You can see that those are the good races. Didn't really like the Tapeta at all last time, and that's basically the second time she's not liked the Tapeta. I'll go next door to the MSW dropper for Mary Leitner and Edgard Zayas, and that is Miss Tapris. Didn't run an inch on debut at Keeneland. Didn't take any money either, but I just feel like the fact that Mary had this horse there, and now will take the biggest drop in racing with a guy she rides quite a bit to a lot of success, as maybe we'll wake up today.
Yeah, her and Edgard Zayas, they do good work together. Maybe we'll see how fit she is. I feel like this is a hard ask to come in almost a year layoff and then 7 furlongs. So we'll see, though.
Yeah, it's kind of a tote board race. So let's take a look at Sonadora Girl last time, going a $170 on the Tapeta. I know we're on the main track today. I want to show you how good she ran, because in theory it looks like she blew a 2-length late lead, and I understand that. It doesn't look pretty, especially at 2-1, but she middle moves here into a pace that was fraying and completely falling apart. The horses that were 1-2 were 9th and 7th early on. You're going to see her make the middle move here. She's going to open up in mid-stretch. She is going to be clear, and then what's going to happen is she's just going to pay the price, because when they go 46-4 at this level on the Tapeta, you really can't go any faster. Yeah, it looks like she's down the road. She just kind of hit a wall late and took the worst of it.
Yeah, she did. Now the main track for her, it still remains to be seen, but she's only had 1 start on the main track, and that was her first ever career start. You could argue that she's a better filly now.
There's no doubt about it, and Victor Barbosa is not really a guy that's going to crank him up early either. It was for 50, by the way. Now she's at the bottom. She's a big threat here, and I would definitely advise not to hold that main track race against her, especially when she broke dead last from the rail that day. Early pick 4 kicks off in race number 2. We'll go a $170 on the Tapeta. It's a maiden special weight here. Fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, a clean field of 7. We'll take a look at Samantha's early pick 4 ticket.
Yeah, and it's a $12 play for me here. We'll get to this race in just a second, but this was the one I had trouble with. Race 3, I do have the 1 on top. That's my long shot. Race number 4, I do have the 2 on top. That is the North Remembers. And in race number 5, 3, Mr. Narcissistic. This is my best bet today. A $12 play for me.
All right, I like it spreading early and a little tighter late. The old reverse pyramid. Let's get into race number 2 now. It's a competitive group. I think there's several different ways you can go in here, and you've got the 6 on top. I've got the 6 in second. That is LeBeau. Safi going to try Tapeta again now, and that was a pretty good effort back in February of, albeit 2023, right in the thick of the championship meet.
Yep, it was, and that was with Christophe Clement as well. So now you're going to get with Safi. You're a 4-year-old in this field with a lot of 3-year-olds, and that gives her a pretty big advantage.
Yeah, and he's had this horse now for a little bit. It's got some time to work with her, and I think that's awfully important as well. Tap My Bell for me, maiden special weight on the turf last time. She ran okay, a daughter of Tapra, and now we'll try Tapeta today.
Yeah, that was a really good effort. I thought she just needed longer, and she got that 2 turns and improved a lot on the turf.
Yeah, and that was the first time in Heather Smollen's barn as well. Wide draw here, but not as bad on the Tapeta as it would be on the turf. British Empress kind of ran off last time. I actually talked to Lauren Robson, and she said as much, hoping to get her to settle a little better today.
Yeah, unfortunately with the rail draw, that kind of it might be your best shot to go, but you could just have to trust Luca. That'll put her in the right position here.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully somebody might want to go and she can cover up a little bit. I want to show you the replay of Micaiah. This is the 2-horse. Newcomer here for Jerry O'Dwyer. Christophe Clement had her on debut. She's the 6 here. We know these Cheyenne colors, the gold and the green. Not going to have a good beginning, and then it actually gets a little worse from here. You're going to end up seeing her drop right here. She checks again on that horse coming in on her, and she was 5-2 this day, by the way. So she drops all the way out the back, and now we're going to fast forward to the far turn. She's going to get checked again a little bit here. Now they're down on the inside. You can see right there she's going to bobble again, and she kind of re-rallies again and breaks her and is running on a little bit. She's down on the inside. She never really gets off the hedge here. She's still got a little run, and then I think what's going to happen is she's going to pay the price for everything. Oh, by the way, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Fillies is the winner. Who won this race. Hard to justify. Right now we're going to call it a day.
Yeah.
I think, Samantha, this is with Christophe, now at Jerry O'Dwyer, off the layoff, enough of a work pattern here. I think she could be sneaky in here, getting a lot of weight, too, with Melvis Gonzalez.
Yeah. I was just laughing because I didn't even have to look to see who the jockey was on that video. That was
absolutely. Good. She got a tightener at Monmouth last time as well, and we'll see what we get today. I would not sleep on her.
I agree.
I know we got to prove it on the Tapeta. 2 down, 6 to go. When we come back, Ron Nicoletti, who'll be back with us tomorrow, not here with us today. He's got a Rainbow 6 ticket. We'll take a look at that. $75,000 in your estimated jackpot guarantee. Stay tuned.
And they're off.
Win big with new DRF All Access past performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access past performances. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Brian and Samantha with you. 8-race Thursday card kicking off a big 4-day race week. Right back at you again on Sunday with a mandatory day. Everything must go on Sunday. Not only the Rainbow 6, but of course all those pick 5s and pick 4s as well. We've got a lot to talk about that, but let's get to the Rainbow today because in race 3, it's already up to $75,000 in your estimated jackpot. These are great times to sneak in and try to get a single or two and sweep this thing at a big number. Here's Ronnie's 3240.
You can see in the first 3 races, he doesn't have a very strong opinion, but it gets tighter late. Race number 6, he's just going to use 2 horses, the 1 and the 2. That's Adios Babe and Sophia Storm. Sophia Storm definitely looks the one to beat there. Race number 7, the single is the 2. KC Chief, coming off of 2 wins in a previous barn. And then in race number 8, the finale today, Kalaman and Paez, as well as Star of the Beast. I feel like those are the 3 logical runners. 32-40 play.
Ronnie's got a doozy in race 7 because that is a really, really good feature on the Tapeta. There's going to be people buying that race, and Ron's got the horse that will be in front. I think we can all agree on that. Tough feature today.
Yeah.
In race 7. Let's get into the Rainbow Kicker, though, here. We'll go at 1.70 and an $8,000 claimer. These are fillies and mares. 3-year-old fillies are 4 and up, which have never won 3 races. It's clean. You are on the inside. I think I heard you say this is your long shot, Velosimia.
Yeah, this is a mare that, to be honest, I just wanted to stay away from the Queen Daymar race and the Grandma's Pudding race and our Awesome Sauce. I just don't trust any 3 of those runners. They could come back and win, and that's fine. But I feel like Velocissima is a mare that the 2 turns on the Tapeta is her play. You look back at the last 2 times she was going 2 turns on the Tapeta. One was a win, and the other one was a 6th place finish, but it was against Open, just claiming $8,000 level. I feel like she just could be one that's circling in the right direction.
You know, she's dangerous. She gets an 8-pound break here with Melvis Gonzalez, who's now a 7-pound apprentice. I want to give him a mention, too, because he won a few races last week. His form is definitely ticking upward. You'll get a big price. Let's show you the Queen Daymar race.
Yeah.
This is her win last time where she beat our Awesome Sauce, who's in here as well. She already came back to win. I just kind of feel like there's not much going on here, but you watch this race and you know that if you're going to take anyone out of this race, I do think it's Queen Daymar.
I think so too. You're on the right horse here. The Queen Daymar did run huge in this spot, but that was for the non-winners of 2 level. This is a big jump up. How can she come bring that back again?
No, and that's the question. She's going to be an underlaid price, rising in class. It's Victor Barboza Jr. You got Andy 1 in here on a big drop. She is very, very tough to trust as well. I'm just going to hope at the end of the day Queen Daymar is a little too much racehorse. For these. Andy 1 was my big fade in here, as it kind of looks like she's yours too.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, they're going to see that drop, and they're likely going to play her, but she's just, it's a long time in between kind of drinks for her. Race number 4 kicks off the late pick 5, or back 5.5 on the Tapeta here. 3-year-olds and up. It's a clean field of 10K claimers. It's a good one as well. And we'll take a look at Samantha's late pick 5 ticket before we get into this race.
Yeah, we will, and it's a $24 play. I already mentioned earlier that my best bet is Mr. Narcissistic here. Race 6, it's a spread for me, but I do have the 7 on top, Miss Ukrainia. Race 7, that's the one that you alluded to. A lot of people will be taking the all ball. It's a tough race. I do have the 3 on top. That's O Captain. And in race 8, the finale, the 3 Paez on top for me.
Well, we've got 7 in here. 3 of them come out of the same race. And without seeing your pick, I just want to bring that race up because I think it's clear that everything kind of goes through. The North remembers Tiz a Tale and then Ubiquitous. Tiz a Tale actually my best bet of the day today. Hey, the North remembers you can't take anything away from him. He's going to swoop him here and get beaten a nose. He's going to beat Tiz a Tale. Ubiquitous, to me at least, is the horse I don't want out of this race because I just didn't think he ran very good. You can see Tiz a Tale never really got off the inside that day either. I didn't really have it as a bad rail day, but we both know, and most people do, that's really not where you want to be.
Yeah, it's not. That was a really dirty nose that he was defeated on fair and square, but it was a really good effort nonetheless.
Well, you're going to come back to the North remembers, who is always pace dependent, but I don't know if he's going to get it in here, to be quite honest with you. You're going to have Akamar trying to wire this field. Is there enough heat up front for the North remembers?
I think there is.
Okay.
I just feel like he kind of puts himself in a position enough to where, at least in these last 2, you can trust him a bit more. He's just been very game lately, and that's what I like.
Well, ever since they cut him back and he got over to Rodolfo Garcia, his form has really, really perked up, and he's been, first, second, and second. So you can't really knock him. I mentioned it already. Tiz a Tale is my best bet of the day. I like the trip he's going to get today. Liz Dobles back firing again, off the claim. for Liz now, and I thought he ran well last time. The blinkers, and he's right outside of Akamar, who will be in front here.
Yeah, but that will help because let Akamar go, hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. You got to talk to me about Ubiquitous, who, to me, the more and more he runs, the further and further away, and the less and less I believe of that race 2 back, which was at 5, by the way.
Yeah, it was. This is just one that he's drawn well in this spot, and you get Miguel Vasquez aboard.
Yeah, and it's Victor Barboza. I get that, but I feel like he keeps getting played off the race 2 back, and I need to see a little bit more before I come back to that one. Race 5 kicks off the late pick 4. We're 5.5 on the Tapeta in this starter allowance, $25,000 starter allowance, 3-year-olds and up. A few scratches here. The 2 Smoking Cloud. This is kind of sort of a late scratch. Academy Choice is out as well. So in race 5, the 2 Smoking Cloud, the 6 Academy Choice kicks off the late 4. We'll take a look at my ticket now. $24 play. I had Academy of Choice as my last pick in there, so he's not going to appear on your screen, but he was on the ticket. I don't have a single, which is kind of sort of rare. Race 6 is my long shot. That is the 4. That is Trotting Gear. Race 7, 2 deep in there. 74 is the order, and that is Treasure King on the outside. In race number 8, 3 deep, and you kind of mentioned it already. Caliman, Paez, and also the 8 Star of the Beast. Those are the trio I'll use in there. $24 on a late pick 4, and we can get back to this race now, and I'll let Samantha start it because, as you heard her say, Mr. Narcissistic, as he looks for 4 in a row, is your best bet of the day. A neck away from looking for 5 in a row.
I know. It's very impressive, and this is a horse that, since the claim from Marty Drexler, Safi won with him in a big way. You don't win those kind of races going 5.5 on the Tapeta, I feel like, from that type of margin. He's just in good form right now.
He is. I mean, he's beaten 3 horses in either of those last 2 races. That's kind of my knock on him, but it's tough to take it away from him because he is good form. He's got the speed to put himself in the race, but he doesn't need to be in front if somebody wants to go wild early. Let's show you the race of Hilarious Affair the last time he was on Tapeta, because this is the race that they're all going to have to beat. Now, he was with Marty Drexler that day. He's with Fernando Abreu now, but, you know, Fernando claimed him for 20 out of this race and ran him in one of those $75,000 overnights that XY Speed is printing money in of late for Mike Lerman. It's a good effort here for Hilarious Affair.
Yeah, it really was, and that was a race where it was his second start from racing at Woodbine, so I still feel like he was just trying to get his legs back under himself. He ran huge behind Hope and Him, who is arguably before one of the best Tapeta sprinters we've had here.
I think he's a little off form now, but that was not off form Hope and Him. That was the good Hope and Him at 5 furlongs too. If he runs back to that race, Hilarious Affair is clearly the horse to beat. But again, we're away from Marty Drexler, and we'll see what we get from Fernando Abreu. Awesome Crusader down on the inside for Carlos David. Interesting horse on the cutback today.
Yeah, I don't really trust him.
Right.
He's just a third pick for me.
You hear us say it quite a bit. When you cut back from routes, whether it's on the turf or on the Tapeta, and you sprint on the Tapeta, boy, oh boy, you better be sharp early on, because they'll run you right off your feet. Race number 6, 7 furlongs on a fast main track here. These are fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. It's a starter, optional claimer, a clean field of 7, and that's where you go to the outside, and that is Miss Ukrainia. Let me make sure I lost a page there. Miss Ukrainia on the outside for you.
Yep, and this is a filly that she's going to cut back in distance just a little bit here. I like her form at 7 furlongs. Her last win was at that 7 furlong distance she's going to get today. I like that they're keeping her in for this 16 level. Now that you can they're risking her for a tag here, which I think that's fine. I don't trust a lot of these horses, specifically Sophia's Storm. You don't even have her on top either.
No doubt about it. The horse that beat her last time, albeit by the length of the stretch, Batakata, just won by the length of the stretch the other day in the powder break, albeit on Tapeta. But she's coming out of a really live, good race. You kind of hinted at Sophia's Storm, and one of the reasons I have a long shot in here is because I didn't want to pick any of those horses. It's as simple as that, and that's Trotting Gear for Amador Sanchez. Hector Barrios, is here. I just kind of sort of feel this horse might be live.
Probably.
Big works, layoff, super slow, but I don't know. This barn could be crafty.
Yeah, and the thing with this horse is the 7 furlongs is in that 1 mile distance. Is, although she hasn't had a win in quite some time, Not since the claim, at least,
Right.
but that was last year. I think that she's fit enough for this.
Yeah, and
It looks like it on paper, at least.
right. And Hector Barrios is going out to Santa Anita and just, I don't want to say resurrected, but kind of blown up his career.
Yeah.
I mean, he is one of the ones out there. And before he went to California, he had a real long-standing relationship with Amador Sanchez, and they're had done really good work together. I know we're closed out there, our sister track, and as they take a little break, I think it's, pay attention where he's riding here, especially when he gets aboard for Amador. We have to talk about Sophia Storm. Hey, Ruben Sierra's going good again.
Well, let's look at his stat.
We got a stat on him, too.
Because you said it. This is the last month here. 2 for 7, 29%.
Yeah. And he won the other day to start that rainbow off
Yeah.
at a big number, 12-1 with a first-time starter. He always works him fast. Now, this horse hasn't worked since her last race, but she's working fast. Boy, oh boy, where did that come from?
I have no clue. I wonder that too. It's like she just, as soon as she hit the front,
Right.
there was no turning back. The 7 furlongs is a distance for her that she's medaled in, but has not gotten a victory. Maybe if you want to poke holes,
Yeah,
which you can.
I don't know. You could say it was a weight break, but Melvis Gonzalez rode her 2 back, so that couldn't really have been it. I will say this: that was an optional claimer. This is not an optional claimer. This is a big class drop for her.
Yep, it is.
There's going to be people that look at that race and they single in this Rainbow Six because, if she runs remotely close to that race, she'll bottom out this field.
Yep.
The question is, can she do it? Adios Babe has been in good form as well, and the last time she was at this level, she won by 5 lengths, so don't sleep on her, clearly, either. Late double time in race number 7. We've already alluded to the feature today, and it is a good one. 1.16 on the Tapeta in an optional claimer. Boy, you could go many different ways in here. Ron went with the 2 KC Chief as his best bet. You're next door. You're going to try Captain again. No. No.
I know. Yeah,
Tapeta?
He'd never been on the Tapeta before. Listen, I don't like this horse as much as you don't. I think he's a lot more talented than he showed, and I just don't understand what's happening with him. Today's the last day, and then I'm signing my divorce papers with him. He's just trying something he's never done. He's 5 years old. Old dog, new tricks here. We'll see. I like the fact that Miguel Vasquez is riding now.
Well, at 12:23 in the p.m. on June 27th, we've confirmed you have a harder head than I do. and usually the line forms behind me on that. Just no way. I've tried them. You all know I have.
Yep.
You know I have.
Yep.
Maybe it's Tapeta. I get it. They always bet them, too. It's
They
not like
do,
we're trying to, we can't get anything clever or crafty out of him because they always bet him as well. And he's, 6 on the morning line. We'll see what we get today.
Yeah.
Treasure King, 1 for 10 on the Tapeta, but not with Saffie Joseph Jr., and he ran pretty darn well on the turf last time.
Yeah, and at least we know he likes the Tapeta. His form will hold up well there, and he was a reclaim, too, by Saffie. So.
Yeah, without a doubt. He's had him before, so, I like that, too. Ron's best bet is a 2 KC Chief. I feel like there's a problem for KC Chief because Spy Hunter, KC Chief's going, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Spy Hunter with a Misiel right to his outside.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem. One thing, maybe if you want to pick holes, is Spy Hunter. The turf has been his speed, it seems like. I know you can look back at that 5 furlong on the Tapeta race back last year and say, okay, he was kind of chasing 22:45, but isn't Casey Chief just a smidge quicker?
I don't know. Not with a Misiel to his outside. I don't think so.
That's true, yeah.
And that was a good Tapeta race, by the way, too, albeit at a sprint, like you said.
But it was a big competition.
Yeah, I would bet a beverage that these 2 horses are hooking early and they're hooking often.
Yeah.
And that might put it in somebody's lap late. Could be an O-Captain. Could be a Treasure King. Race 8's the finale here on this 8-race card. We'll go 5.5 on the Tapeta. It's a $25,000 maiden claimer. These are 3-year-olds and up. We do have a scratch of the 7, Insolent, and the 4 is going to be ridden by Joe Trejos. Picked up a win last week. He's been riding in pretty good form, and we're going to start with our top pick, Paez, not coming out of a race we're going to show you in a horse that is trying Tapeta today for the first time.
Yep, that's
right?
good. And you look at the sprints, at least at Colonial. This horse runs well, and I think what we're trying to do is not take anybody from this race.
Yeah, this is Star of the Beast, okay? This is the Star of the Beast Caliman race, and this is Caliman with the slow start. Now we'll fast forward to the far turn. Caliman's running a little bit here. This is his debut for 50, trying to loop this field. Star of the Beast, you know, he's fine, and he's 9-5, and I get all that, but boy, the chances are adding up. This is the race where I thought Caliman ran pretty darn good, and if you see that race and the public's going to say, I don't know, he didn't do any running that day, I maybe say maybe look again. And Star of the Beast now is just the chances, I don't know, the chances are adding up. I know he's a dropper, and this is the lightest he's been. Edgard and Antonio, they do good work together, but just be a little careful there. Back to Paez, by the way. You know, no disrespect to the Nunez barn, but that's a 1 for 29 barn, and we are going to Jose D'Angelo today, who's
big move.
Big move, and he's put 2 works in this horse as well. So I think Paez is really poised for a breakthrough today, and I think there's no surprise that we both have this horse on top. Lightning round before we kick it upstairs to Pete, who really doesn't have a lot to do today, and we like that because there's very few scratches or changes on this 8-race card. We'll start as we always do with the standings, and we'll start as we always do, trying to come up with something creative because Edgard and Safi have distanced themselves from the field.
Yep, they have. The podium is still in close ranks. That will be fun to kind of see how that switches and changes throughout the course of the rest of the summertime.
Yeah, without a doubt, because Miguel, Misael, Edwin, and Lionel Reyes are all going to battle there for underneath, and that's pretty cool to see. Trainer side now, as we already talked about, Safi Joseph Jr.'s got a trophy case full of these titles, and it looks like he's poised to add another one.
Yep, he is. And then again, the podium is interesting as well. I think we'll see probably Mark Cassie not on the podium for much longer. They took horses to Colonial. I know they leave some here as well, but it'll be interesting. I have a feeling Victor Barboza will not be far behind.
No, not
after today,
at all.
for sure. Yeah.
Good to see Jose D'Angelo back here after such a successful run over there at Royal Ascot with Gabaldon running second there, and congratulations to him and the team. I think the best is yet to come for that barn. We've already talked about it. We're going to talk about it a lot more. We'll be filming and talking and Twitter analysis and all that good stuff. Mandatory day with everything, actually, on Sunday. You can see this here, the Rainbow, the Late 5, and the Super High 5, which is the last race of the card as well, because at the end of the fiscal year here in Florida, which is June 30th, everything must go.
It'll be big pools. Like Brian said, we'll have content put out there, and PPs are out, so get cracking.
Yeah, exactly. It's a 9-race card on Sunday, so the Rainbow kicks off in race number 4. 3 racing days left. If we get there unscathed, 7 figures again is in play, because we'll probably be, around $250,000 as is. Your best bet today?
Mr. Narcissistic for me, yeah.
Going for 4 in a row. I believe I'm going to race earlier, and I am. Race number 4 to the 5, Tis a Tale. Your long shot today?
Velocissima for
All right.
me, yep.
15-1 down on the inside, and I am a little bit later on in race number 6, Trotting Gear on the comeback for Amador Sanchez and Hector Barrios, 6-1 on the morning line. So that's it. Like we said, Pete's upstairs on this 8-race Thursday card. We're happy to have you aboard. Main track is fast at Topeka as well. Rainbow, race number 3 now on the 8-race card. $75,000 in the estimated jackpot. We'll see you back here for the opener.